So make no mistake, there's a lot of people out there who think the CCI indicator is great, but they are also the same people that have no idea that Forex indicators outside of the ones that come with your own charting package even exist. I mean, it's the only reason I can think of. So let's try to figure out why people use this thing. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because a lot of the reasons I give for why indicators like this do not work have already been expressed many times. So I don't see this video going terribly long, but for those of you who are brand new to this channel and have found no-nonsense Forex for the first time because of this video, just know a few things before we go too deep into this. This is part of my Dirty Dozen series. It was 12 Forex tools that I recommend nobody ever uses, and CCI was one of them. So this video is going to be telling you the reasons why I don't think you should use this indicator at all. Now, again, if you really want me to drill down into all these little reasons why you're going to be disappointed, I'm going to gloss over those reasons, and I'm going to show an example. But if you want reasons, like specific reasons why indicators like this are just inherently defective, I've already gone over this quite a bit. So check out things like my RSI video, Fibonacci, if you really want more on this. But I will be offering alternatives. Those of you who like this indicator, I don't mean to poke fun, but I just think you're misguided, and I think you would be better served elsewhere. And I will give you guys a little bit of credit towards the end of the video here. But I will offer our alternatives for all of you. And those alternatives are going to take a bit of work. It is not me telling you, hey, don't use this, use this. You will have to go find these. But I do my best to guide you towards them, to make that search not so painful. And a lot of people on this channel have done the search and come up with a lot better options than what we're going over today. And what we are going over today in this video is the CCI indicator. Kind of talk about what it does and the ways most people use it. And then talk about why none of those ways work very well. And then offer some better alternatives. Pretty cut and dry. Now, understand a few things first. I've always felt like this thing was just doomed from the start. So, if you don't know, CCI means Commodity Channel Index. This thing was made for commodities trading, just like a lot of the Dirty Dozen indicators and tools that a lot of you know and love were created for things like stocks, things with intrinsic value, things that do not apply to the Forex market. But because nobody has ever been there to show you any different, these are just the tools you use. But it's not even made for FX trading. And this is a big problem because our market moves differently. All right, commodities and stocks have intrinsic value. All right, they actually can be overbought or oversold, for example, to where the FX market does not move that way. Currencies do not have intrinsic value when you are trading them against another one. Yet everybody uses these old-ass indicators that were created for commodities and stocks simply because they just don't know better. But rest assured, traders, there are lots of indicators made specifically for our market. They were created for MT4, which is the main charting software of the Forex market, at least for individual traders like us. So this always begs the question, if these are out there, and some of them work really, really well, as many of my traders can attest to, why on earth would anybody even bother using things like this? Why would you use 2 soup cans and a string instead of using a cell phone? That'd be ridiculous, right? The problem is, and I've pointed to this 100 times before, the information most traders have available to them is complete garbage. People want to learn how to trade, people want to learn how to read charts, they go to YouTube, they go to Forex Twitter, they go to these websites, and almost all of the things that are out there talk about some combination of the Dirty Dozen, and I'll link that video down below if you haven't seen it before so you can see better what I'm talking about, or some sort of fundamental analysis. And that's all they talk about. So in most people's heads, that must be all that's available to you. And not only is that so far from the actual truth, but the tools and indicators they do show you are complete trash. And you don't even need fundamental analysis. I've made a video on this too. Now, when you are searching for the CCI itself, it doesn't even get much better. I mean, go to YouTube right now and type in CCI Indicator Forex. Even if you do that, you're going to see most of the videos that pop up talking about stock trading. And I mean, why wouldn't they? That's what the indicator was built for. Commodities trading, stock trading, they go hand in hand in terms of technical analysis. But to really find a video where people are actually trading Forex with this indicator that is so popular in the Forex world, you can't even really find them. And then when you do, they give you a lot of these possibilities, like, well, maybe you can use it this way, or perhaps you can use it that way. It's nothing ever definitive. It's just wishy-washy nonsense. I know if I'm interested in an indicator and I want to know how to use it better and I want some strategies behind it, I would rather have a video that gives me something definitive. I mean, I'd rather them tell me something good, but if it's a video like this and it's somebody telling me not to use it and stating a good reason why, well, that's almost just as good. Because if I don't have a good chance of making money with this thing, or there's a chance that I will probably lose money down the road with this thing, that's fine. I would like to know that so I can move on to something else. But getting a straight answer either way from any of these videos is virtually impossible. And then to make matters worse, and now that I've said this, I want you guys to go actually type in CCI Indicator Forex and look at some of these videos that pop up. You are going to see one thing that you should never, ever do. And that is showing the times where this indicator works while blatantly skipping over all of the periods of time where it does not work. I will be the first one to say, when you are going to your actual charts and trying to shoot a video at the same time, it's actually really hard, especially if you have ADD. I'm sure in the over 100 videos that I've done that I might have missed a couple losses here and there. But this is just egregious. And if you go to any of these videos, you're going to see what I'm talking about. They never, ever point out the times where it just doesn't work at all. And this is horribly misleading, especially to new traders, especially brand new traders that might not be able to locate those moments where the indicator did fail. And in their minds, because of the video they're watching, might think that this thing has a 100% hit rate. And so they go use it themselves and get destroyed. Not cool. And two wrongs do not make a right. So love this video or hate this video, I will at least try to do right by you when I actually go to my own charts. But we're not going there yet. First off, I want to give this indicator, believe it or not, a little bit of love. One of the cool things about it is that you can really use this in a few different ways. And I think you can do that with most indicators, but a lot of people don't. With the CCI, I've seen people use this about 3 or 4 completely different ways. So let's talk about those. First off, they will use it to call reversals. I think that's probably what people use it for the most. Hard to say, but a lot of people do use it to find tops and bottoms. Then, as a breakthrough indicator. I think this is the first time any of you guys have ever heard me reference this. And so what I mean by that is, if you guys remember the Williams %R video, how once it broke through a very high level or a very low level, that was actually your signal to go that way. And you have, I think, a 100 and a negative 100 on the CCI. And if price goes long past the 100, for example, a lot of people will take a long trade. To where if you were trading reversals, you would not take that trade and you would wait for it to come back down across the 100 so you could take a reversal. Completely opposite ways of using this. You can also use this as a zero line cross. For those of you new to the channel, the main video I'm going to link down below in the description is going to talk about what types of indicators we look for here at No Nonsense Forex. And a zero line cross is actually one of them. Now, it's certainly not the most common. You could do this with things like the RSI or stochastics, but most people don't. But I have seen quite a few examples in the research I just did with people using it as a zero line cross. So pretty cool that such a dumb common indicator is commonly used in all 3 of these different ways. And on top of that, you also have 3 relatively common settings to put the indicator on, which is something you don't often see either. You have the default 14, There are a lot of people out there who like the 20 setting, and some people like the 50 setting as well. I will do what I normally do and just use the default setting, the 14, but there are a lot of people who swear by all three of these. Now, once you actually stick your head out there and discover a lot of the other indicators that exist, they're just never talked about, you will notice that this versatility is not super uncommon. But it just is uncommon in the default indicators that already come with your charting package. So this is actually a nice little breath of fresh air in that regard. But the problem is, just because something is versatile does not mean it is any good. You guys have already, if you see the MACD video, you've seen my rant on Swiss Army knives. The first time you ever get your first ever Swiss Army knife, you're like, oh yay, dope, a Swiss Army knife. And then you use it and you're like, wow, every single one of these tools does a below average job. And half of them I don't even really need. So shout out to my Swiss traders. You guys deserve better than this. You guys make some of the most finely tuned precision wristwatches on the planet, and yet most of the world knows you for this. Not fair. But also, because this is a Dirty Dozen video, I know this is going to happen if I don't get out in front of it, but there will be those traders out there that just love the CCI that say, well, VP, you're telling everybody wrong because I combined the CCI with this. Shut up again. God damn it, I hate you. All you're doing is combining inferior tools with other inferior tools. Congratulations. You're still a dipshit. Let me offer a better alternative. So, for those of you who like the CCI or you're interested in the CCI indicator, I'm guessing, and I don't know this, but I'm guessing it's because you like its versatility. You like all the things that you can possibly do with it, compared to something like RSI or stochastics that are mainly used just for one thing and done one way. But that's good. That's a good character trait that you have, because that is the type of mindset you need to really test out some of these other much better indicators that exist out there. So take that wonder and that curiosity and go out there and find some indicators that were actually made for this market, because they do exist. And in that trend indicators video, I'm going to make that search a lot easier for you. Now, there's a whole ocean of indicators out there, and a lot of them are trash. But once you get a good one, it is worth any amount of time that you took to go find it. And I'm trying my best to make that search go as quickly and efficiently as possible in that video. But in order for many of you to take that step, I think a lot of you have to actually see an example of this thing in real time, which is what most people who make CCI videos don't do. They cherry pick the stock, or they cherry pick the Forex pair or the time frame, whatever it is. That's not the way I do things. Let's go take a look. So here we are at the Euro-Dollar daily chart. Now, this is the chart I use almost all the time, unless it's totally necessary for me to go find a different one. But this is the most commonly traded Forex pair on Earth, and the daily chart is what we use here at No Nonsense Forex. So this is the chart that I use, and you see down below we have the CCI on the default setting. And I didn't put the zero line cross because that's probably the least used version, but you can go do this yourself on any chart you want. But just to avoid distraction, I just left it on the 100 and the minus 100. Now, some people also put 200 and minus 200. It's just yet another way you can use this thing. But whatever way you decide to go with, I just don't think there's one clear winner, and I think you are so much better served going elsewhere. So let's do this one of two ways. Let's use this as a breakthrough indicator. So what a lot of people will do is, for a long, they will wait for this to break through the 100, and as soon as it does, they'll go long. And then conversely do the same thing when it dips below negative 100 and go short. So let's see how that would have done. You would have entered long right here, and that would have been probably the worst place you could have possibly entered. So you got blown out there. And you would have taken this short here, and the most you would have ever done is 44 pips on the daily chart. That's probably not what you're looking for. And it started to go this way. I don't know if you would have lost, but it definitely went sideways. So nothing good there. So one loss, one maybe, and then you would have entered here. Absolutely nothing there for you. It would immediately start going the other way after that next candle. Loss. Then looks like blind squirrel found a nut. You enter long. And almost got 100 pips out of that. So that could have been a win for sure. Over here, might have got one here. Oh, no, you didn't. So you'd have entered on this candle. This candle would not have gotten there yet. You would have entered here, really close to the top. Not a whole lot there. It immediately started going the other way. Should we keep doing this? It's pretty bad. Nothing there. This looked like, yeah, that would have been a good trade right there. Kind of still going, and then you had another one of those cases, and we just don't know how that's going to turn out. So a couple wins, but a pretty ugly sight. Now that must mean that if we traded reversals, that this would have been really awesome, right? Let's take a look at that. So to do that, you wait for it to get into this, I'm doing air quotes, overbought territory, and wait for it to come back down. So you would have entered on that candle. So that looks pretty good. Could have been a win. I'll give that to you. Next one would have been allowing it to come into oversold territory and coming back up. So you'd have gotten in, what, maybe there? Actually, I don't think so. Probably here. But either way, there's not a lot in it for you. That would have been a loss because it went the other way. Then on this reversal, that would have been a really good trade. Looking good there. Then on this one, another decent one, maybe. Close. How about the next one? This is good. So hey, as a reversal indicator in this example, not too bad. About this next one. That's another loss. Nope, nothing for you there. Would have started going the other way. And then, ooh, another loss. You would have bought at the very top and lost again. So you were actually looking all right until those last two losses. Now it looks like at best you would have probably broken even. But again, this is what you almost never see when people show you their charts. In a real-time example, with a no-nonsense person showing it to you, by using the two most commonly traded methods on this indicator, on the default setting, there is really nothing much to get excited about. Now, if you would like to take this indicator and test it on different currency pairs and different time frames and in different ways on different settings, you go right ahead. But just don't lie to yourself. Don't sweep past the losses or just pretend like you would have never taken that trade, because you absolutely would have. And I will bet you if you do some real honest back testing on this indicator, the results are going to be mediocre at best. You can certainly do better, and this is your money. This is your possible livelihood down the line. You should want to do as well as you can possibly do, and mediocre will not cut it in this business. So in conclusion, traders, if you're looking at this indicator, just understand that you are not bound to it. There are thousands of better options out there, indicators that were actually made for this market, and you are wasting your time on an indicator that was not. But look, this is good news. I think that probably 95% of all Forex traders have no idea that all these other indicators exist. If you just go to Google and type in Forex indicators MT4, you will find all sorts of resources out there for you to go look. And I will bet you too, if you go to that trend indicators video that I linked for you down below in the description and you go to the comments section, I bet you will also find people commenting on a lot of other places where they found really good indicators. It's a lot of fun. Don't dread the search. The search is super fun. Putting together a system of all these fantastic unknown indicators that you have tested to work really well is intoxicating. And then using that combination to go extract money out of this market over and over again is even better. And this is the channel to tell you how to do that. If you have not subscribed or hit the bell yet, do it now. Start from the beginning. Now, even if you're an experienced trader, I'll put my beginner's video down below in the description as well. That will tell you how to best navigate this channel. What we do here is very unique and very special, but you have to get all of that pre-programmed nonsense out of your head first. That's why we do videos like this. But whether you are brand new to this channel or you've been with us for a long time, you know exactly what needs to be done. Go find those indicators, put them together to make the best entry system you possibly can, add in the money management tactics we talk about to make that system bulletproof, take that killer system into the Forex market, and go get it.